Craft beer is known for being a community-focused industry. So much so that competitors even come together to collaborate and create great beers using the knowledge of two brewers. In fact, this happens so often that the 5th annual Collaboration Beer Festival happened just a few months ago. Collaborations can be experimental or educational, weird or wacky, sublime, and often surprising. Usually, the beer turns out beautifully, a showcase for the 2, 3, or even 4 breweries involved. But every once in a while, a collaboration brew can turn into a process that doesn't land with grace. Not because the beer came out bad or needed to be dumped. No, even successful beers can create some awkward situations or spark difficult conversations between brewers that were once close enough to come together and brew great craft beers. In this mini-series, we're going to tell the stories of craft beer collaborations gone wrong, and what those stories teach us about life, business, and of course, beer. Chapter 2: Changing Allegiances. When you come together with another brewer to create a collaboration beer, it's generally with a friend you've known for years. Brewing is such a labor of love that you only want to bring those you really enjoy and trust into your sacred brewing space. Black Project Wild and Spontaneous Ales was gaining a lot of fame across the country for its sour ales. Sour beers have been growing in popularity in recent years, so a brewery that creates excellent portfolio of sours was a recipe for immediate success. Black Project became a darling of the Denver beer world, and with all the great relationships they have, a collaboration with another strong and growing beer brand was definitely a solid next step for them. So they teamed up with Asheville, North Carolina's darling brewery, Wicked Weed. James Howitt, owner of Black Project, took a trip across the country to Asheville to brew a great Wild Yeast sour there in Wicked Weed's facility. In turn, Wicked Weed made the trip to Denver to brew a beer at Black Project's facility, and both brew days went really well. Both beers were fermenting along, and things were looking pretty good. But even before fermentation had stopped, this story took a sour turn. If you follow craft beer world and news, you probably remember all the headlines surrounding Wicked Weed when they were acquired by AB InBev in 2017, in what was probably one of the ugliest acquisitions in terms of PR and community backlash. And when I say ugly, I mean a year and a couple months later, at the time this video is being recorded, people are still writing articles citing Wicked Weed as one of the ultimate sellouts. And don't even get me started on all the angry blog posts. Now, we're not going to get into AB InBev's efforts to suppress the craft beer industry in today's podcast. The pay-to-play schemes, supplier buyouts, and misleading marketing tactics are all well documented, and it would take far too much time to go into all that today. Needless to say, many craft brewers are openly hostile towards AB InBev, publicly criticizing their business practices, and in some cases, their beer itself. Perhaps one of the most outspoken of these brewer critics are Blacktown Project's own James and Sarah Howitt. How anti-InBev are they? Not only do they run a blog where they often take time from their busy schedules to criticize InBev, but they have also sworn off any event where AB InBev brewer is a sponsor. This means that oftentimes they miss the biggest festivals and other opportunities to reach a lot of customers. In June of 2017, when AB InBev acquired a minority stake in the popular beer rating website RateBeer, Black Project took to their blog to share their reaction. They wrote that the journalistic integrity of the website had been breached, and they were joining a few other outspoken breweries in asking that all references to their beer and their brewery be removed from RateBeer's website. This is a pretty big deal, as more and more consumers, especially craft beer consumers, are turning to websites like RateBeer to find new beers they want to try. So when Black Project heard that their friends at Wicked Weed had sold out to AB InBev, they were upset. Actually, upset might be an understatement. They wrote on their blog, "We truly believe that AB InBev intends to systematically destroy American craft beer as we know it. We personally don't buy, seek, trade, or acquire any of their products for this reason, and we've been known to encourage our friends to do the same." Strong words indeed, and they continued on, addressing Wicked Weed directly. "For us, the choice is clear. At this stage, we don't feel we are able to have a business relationship with Wicked Weed, because that connection, ultimately, is one with AB InBev." So Black Project made two decisions regarding their collaboration brews that were currently in progress with Wicked Weed. First, they did not lend their name or image to the beer that was fermenting at Wicked Weed's brewery in Asheville. Second, the beer that they had fermenting in their own facility was to be blended with other aged beer they had to create something completely different that would not be called a collaboration beer any longer. Finally, they, like many other craft brewers at the time, pulled out of the Wicked Weed Funkatorium Invitational Beer Festival that summer. So no one really knows what happened to the beer that was originally a collaboration between these two breweries. Wicked Weed never released a beer that was named a collaboration with Black Project, so it's hard to know which of the many experimental brews they do was the collaborative effort. And Black Project just blended their beer into other beers, so the original was lost to the beer gods. Regardless of how you feel about large brewing conglomerates acquiring beloved craft breweries, I think all beer fans would agree that some great sour ales were lost that day. You know, if this tale has taught me anything, it's that money creates strange bedfellows, and you might just end up on the losing side of a love triangle.